would be our Skytower, which is our IP address of 192.168.0.111. And over here we have a login forum, which is our email ID and password. And if we can see the source code, it's normal HTML part. So first thing first, we're gonna do is simply let's do the nmap scan. And let's do nicto also, nicto-host. Let's see if we can find any misconfiguration services over there on the server side. So again, we have allowed HTTP method, which is our post options get and head. And on the server side, we can see through the nmap scan, I can see only 22 was open over there. 22 was filtered over here. It means it's beyond the firewall. And we have port 80, which is our HTTP, normal HTTP server. And we have one more thing, which is our 3128, which is our HTTP proxy squid. So we have one service which is running over there on the server side, and it's some HTTP proxy squid. So what exactly? So what we can see over here, we can try that there's a proxy service running, and if you doesn't know about these services, just have a look on the Google Drive. So Squid is caching and forwarding HTTP web proxy. Okay, it is a wide variety of uses, including speeding up a web server and caching repeated queries, and DNS other computer network lookups for group of people. Okay, that's great. So what we can do over here, we can try. If you doesn't know about the things which is the use of the Squid proxy, just read about the theoretical part and read about that. Get the information as much as possible. So over here, we're gonna try to analyze. So let's try the exploitation part, but we can find all the Derbuster. Let's try the Derbuster over here. So let's use Derbuster, and if you can find any sensitive information on the server side, let's try this one. Copy the URL. The word list. Okay. So yes, user share word list. Derbuster. Let's do the medium one and start. So let's try one by one all the possibilities to simply gain information. So over here, what I can see, they find something like your login.php file, like something CGI bin on the server, which is forbidden, and some other techniques also. So our major objective would be to simply penetrate all the skills one by one. That could be lead us for information part. So icons, there was nothing. Server status. Okay, so this is also 403. CGI bin, sometimes we find some sensitive information over here, and we have only the login notification file. So the scan is almost done, and we didn't find something interesting. So let's move on. Server status 403. I think we will not find something which is forbidden. Okay. Let's see. Login.php we already have the login.php file. And what else we can do? It's already done, and we didn't find any relevant data on the server side. So what we can do here, we can try, as we have tried the unmapped, we didn't find anything, which is 3128 was there. 3128. So we're gonna check it later on, and we in the next nectar part we also have the log.php file, the icon file, the Apache version, and in the debbuster we find something data like this one. Some files found and some directories, but there was 403, which is our forbidden. So we can do one thing. Let's try over here on the web part. We can see we have a login forum. So let's try explanation if you can find anything. Yes, you have an error in your SQL syntax. Check that MySQL Server version for the right syntax near at 21. So it means this application is vulnerable to SQL injection. And what I did, I simply use a backslash. So this was a basic post method attack. So I'm gonna try something new over here today. I'm gonna use my burp suit again. And let's just preference. Okay, the certificate is already installed. Your connection is not secure. Okay, so I think the certificate has been expired because I terminate the. Okay, let's do certificate. So 127.0.0.1 port 8080. So let's download the certificate. Let's go to authorities and ports. Yes. Now let's try this one. Great. So what I'm going to do, I find that this server is vulnerable to SQL injection. So we're going to try the post part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just simple copy this one because we're going to try the SQL injection attack on the server side. So I'm going to paste this one on the text file because this is a post method, and over here we're going to post in the desktop. And I'm going to name this one SQL.text file. So we're going to use SQL map, and let's see if we can simply extract the database server. SQL map -r, read the file sql.txt, and simply find database. It looks like the backend database is MySQL. Yes. Do you want to test for this test? I mean, yes. Why not? For the remaining test, do you want to include all the test parameters? Yes. If it is recommended to perform a basic unit scan, well, yes, why not? Mm. So over here I can see post method password does not seems to be injectable. Okay, didn't find anything reliable over there. Okay, so I'm going to try SQL injection authentication bypass. So let's try one more thing. Let's try with SQL authentication bypass. So let's try with single quote function 1 is equal to 1 minus space. Okay, what we have there an error running on the query. You have an error on the SQL syntax, but that was on this one. Okay, so let's try. Let's try with the medium report. Let's try some of this one. Login failed. Sometimes what happens, they simply block the query. So to bypass this one, we use double pipe. You have to make your own queries. Single quote or function 1 is equal to 1 minus space. Let's use hash. Sometimes minus plus will not work, so you have to change your parameter value. And over here I can see welcome to Jacob Docs, and we can have a username password, which is your John, and here is John. But the most important thing is right now is how, if we have the credentials, username, password, but how we gonna log in over there, because there was a port number 22 was filtered. So let's see what we can do over here. 3128 proxy squid server. Exploit. The version was 3.1. 3.1. NTLM buffer overflow, Metasploit, Squid, proxy. So first thing first, if you doesn't know about the proxy squid, there was a, and the most important thing, the server is open. The squid proxy is open, so we can simply communicate with that server. So for example, if you see this one, netcat nv, it's open right now, and do you have any queries? Yeah, a normal HTML form, bad request. So what we're gonna do over here, we're gonna try to use a proxy tunneling. We're gonna use proxy tunneling to communicate with that proxy server, and we're gonna use it for authentication part. So let's use proxy tunnel. So what we have over here, proxy tunnel, medium reports. Medium reports are the best one. I always read medium reports because they are layman language and good for me. So you can see install proxy tunnel. Proxy tunnel are basically used for making connectivity with the two AND nodes, which is your client A and client B. So need to find the reverse proxy tunneling. Proxy tunneling 3128 port. Reverse proxy tunneling. Let's have the example. Port 22 works on the SSH on the VMware. Okay, it's gonna ask me something. So let me tell you one thing. We're gonna try a trick. What are we gonna do? We're gonna try to simply connect with our local server with that specific port number, which is 138, and I'm gonna communicate that port number with my Oracle. So over here, HTTP proxy squid. So let's have a look. What we're gonna do? We're gonna try to open a port number on that server side. Proxy tunnel. Let's do man. So over here you can see a proxy tunnel is a program to tunnel any connection with the standard of HTTPS proxy. A communication with the two nodes. And over here we're gonna use it for SSH proxy command. And mostly it's used on the PuTTY to communicate. So I'm gonna use the specific one -p and -d. I'm gonna use the proxy host with the proxy and the destination with the proxy. So if you are not able to understand this one, let's have a walkthrough should be open. So let's use proxy Skytower. One have walkthrough. So this is medium report, which is from Kanishka. It was in 2017. See, consider this one. So when you have when she is trying to communicate with the port number 22 with SSH, see what will happen. If you use John, the port is already filtered. It will not work because the port has been filtered by the client side. So what we're going to do over here, if this won't work on the SSH, is filtered and start with the nmap scan. But we have the proxy squids configuration on the port number 3128. See, so we can access the SSH server by proxying the connection through the squid server and the target machine. So see this command. This is the important command. Proxy tunneling is basically making a connection. -p host with the proxy, the host which his application is running. The application which is our 101.11 IP address and the port number they are running. -p and -d the destination, and we're gonna communicate with our local host with our port 22 port number. And -a assign with 1234 port number. You can use any of the random ports. So see this one. A common example. If you're using a proxy server, remember the victim machine will communicate with the attacker machine. So in this machine, victim machine has running a port number which is 3128, and we're gonna redirect the connection. Redirect the connection, or you can make you can say connection establish with the attacker machine. An attacker machine was my IP address, and we don't gonna use our IP address. We're gonna use our local host with a port 22 assigned. So through that server, I'm gonna connect with that specific proxy server, and I'm gonna communicate with the port 22. I'm gonna open a port 22 connection with my local server, and I'm gonna assign a port number that would be a random port. Anything would be there. See, -p proxy with a string, local proxy host and the connect combination. -d the destination string that you want to communicate. So what we are doing simple, we are just making a connectivity on the server side. So let's try one thing. Let's try proxy tunnel -p the port that the server was using 101, and that was 3128. We are making a normal connectivity with the destination that was my IP address 104. Okay, we are going to use our local host IP address with the port number 22, and I'm going to assign a port number that would be 9994, a random port number. So what I did simple, I simply make a connectivity with the proxy server on my local port number 22, and it's gonna use it to connect the server port. So let's use netstat, and let's check what is running over there in the backend. Okay, so where is it? 3128. There's a proxy tunnel is running 19994. So let's try and communicate. SSH John @ with the localhost IP address -p port 1994. See, now we can communicate with that server. Why this happened? Because of the service. The connection has been closed. The program declined with the Debian GUI system, the free software exact destination programs described in the individual files on the user shared doc copyright. Why this happened? Because of the file name /rc file. .bashrc. .bashrc file is an important file on the server side. Whenever a new user is authenticated over there, he can simply penetrate. A bashrc file is a script that executes when a user login. The file itself contains a series of configuration of the terminal session, authenticated session. So that's why we are not getting a TTY over there.
we're gonna use bin sh, we're gonna use bin shell file. See, now I'm on the server side, and what we're gonna do over here, we're gonna remove the bash rc file to get a proper terminal, because we will not get a tty, we will only get the shell file. So I'm going to use rm. Yes, that's done. Let's remove this one. Password is, here is John, and we get a proper tty. So our major objective of this machine is to simply penetrate and simply look for the data over there. The most important thing is this. The port assigning part, the proxy communication with the localhost port number. There are many techniques that we can do. In this machine, let's look for the where directory, because there was an SQL part was going over there. We have login.php. Cat login.php. Sometimes login.php contains some password files, and we can see localhost, user, root, and root. Default credential of MySQL database. MySQL server is running over there, and we can see that they are using default credential, which is your root. An attacker can connect to the server and he can penetrate his skills. Use Skytech. Show tables. Select star from login. See, there are different users over there. I hate this job, Sarah. Can you use Sarah over here? Fund was overwritten. Why this is happening? Because of the bash rc file. So let's do one thing. Exit. Let's use Sarah over here, and the password of Sarah. And you have to do one. You have to remove the bash rc file over here also. This machine is important. Why? Because of the bash rc file. Who am I? I'm Sarah. Because a attacker can simply check what are the applications are running. You can simply use netstat when you are on the server side. Kindly check the application which is running on the backend side. You can use netstat antup, and over here you can see that MySQL is running. There's a different ways can be happen. So our major objective would be over here to simply penetrate our skills and identify all the things one by one. So let's look. This application is vulnerable to your sudo user. Let's use sudo -l. See, user Sara has no password to access the bin cat and bin ls, and they can simply use the file over there, which is it can access the bin cat, the binary card, and bin ls, the list of files, which is on your account directory. So let's use sudo. Let's try with sudo. How an attacker can trick. We have the no password to be cat. We can open a file and we can ls the file, which is a list of commands. So let's have accounts directory. Let's use bin ls, but we can execute over there. Yeah. So over here in the account directories, through the account directories, we are jumping the directory over there, which is your LFI, local file inclusion part. We can see account directories, boot directory, etc, libs directory, opd directory, cat directory, root directory. Is it possible we can get the root directory? Let's try, because yes, we can, because we have root permission without the password. Dot dot is basically used to jump a directory. If you are not using dot dot, see, it will not execute. So let's use root directory. Do we can find something? Yes. Over here we can find a file called flag.txt file. We can jump to the root directory over there. Flag.txt, and that was we bin cat. The root password is the Skytower. See, the most important thing in this machine was simply how to get on the server side. And who am I? I am user root with the simple commands lines over there. Anything can be possible. Just have to read. Just have to understand how the file inclusion vulnerability works, and the permission has been defined. The permission was defined over here. Bin cat account directory, and it was strict. It's saying wildcard. It could be anything. The wildcard over here is simply saying. So you can simply check one by one